turn this radio down here.
Okay. I'll do a little intro here and just be brutally honest. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't even know if it's ever going to be seen or not, but got a project brewing, and I'm just outside of town. And if you look through the glass here on the driver's side, this little ditch line right here, this is where this story began about 3 weeks ago. A co-worker of mine said his wife was on his way to town, and middle of the day, like 10 a.m., there's this monster giant velvet buck right here in the ditch line feeding, like 10 o'clock in the morning. And she said it was just this big old giant freak, and you know, these people know pretty good deer, kill good deer. And anyway, she just went on and on and on. 2 or 3 days later, she's still telling her husband about how giant this deer is. So anyways, again, if you look back up, let me see, top of this hill up here is a little small 1 acre tract that I run a camera on for the last 2 weeks with some groceries and no deer. So anyways, here we are the week of the fair, the county fair, and a fella stopped me at a local store here just yesterday, 2 days ago, and he says he just saw a monster cross the road in front of him right at dusk a few days ago, and happens to be about 300 yards back that direction. So this is 2 people now within 2 or 3 weeks who's talked about this giant freak. Both of them said it's just got a crazy rack to it. So the last day or two, what I've done is I've got on my map and studied the onyx, and I think, set this camera up here, I think I have identified where I need to be. Here's the problem. This little tract of land, again, I don't know whether this is even going to go anywhere or not, guys. This is just, well, it's not real conducive to chasing big bucks. But if you look, you got a few places pinned here. This is right along the High River. I mean, it's just right there. So it's a skinny little piece of land. I got multiple little chunks of residential pieces of land there, all got houses on them. I got one little vacant piece of land right below me here. I'm kind of pulled off the side of the road. This overlooks the river basin across the river here to Ohio. And I got one little tract of land that's vacant. It's 0.8 acres. So I found the landowner. It's titled some lady. I don't know who she is, but we're about to find out. If I have any chances at all of laying eyes on this buck, I think that's where it's going to be. I mean, I don't have much of a choice. It's a small little skinny tract of land. I bet there ain't 10 acres from town all the way up through here, all along this stretch. It's just all broken up and divided. So we're back on the road here, and we got just a little bit of time to travel up Route 2 to where this lady lives. We'll see if she can let us in there and get us permission. A little door knock, never hurt anybody. All right, we are in the money. Talk to the old lady here, sweet old lady. Come to find out, she actually worked with my mother years ago. Small world we live in. Anyways, she kind of confirmed everything I suspected. It's just a little under an acre, and said that she bought that years ago, dreamed of building a house there and never did do anything. Said there's 2 or 3 old buildings on it now, an old house actually, all grown up, which is what the satellite images say anyways. And a couple little outbuildings and like a shed type of project. But anyways, we're gonna give it a whirl and see. I'm gonna run to the house and grab a single bag of groceries and a camera and see what we can pull off. But maybe this will never go anywhere, I don't know, but if we have any chance at all, I think this is it. So we'll see. Maybe this will get published, maybe it won't. It's shaping up to be a pretty cool story nonetheless. We'll see. Well, I think this is where we're at. According to the map it is anyways. It looks like a jungle. Alright. Let's get out so we can find a place to hang a camera, boys. It's gonna be a little chore getting down this bank. Whew! Man, what a cool spot. Look at this. Look at the old house here. Look at the old house here behind me. Very cool. Very cool. Look at, got an old shed here. Let's see what we got. Pick our way through here. A couple solid trails just kind of paralleling these railroad tracks. This property actually is split and divided by the tracks themselves. So we got a roadside, we got a riverside. Another old building there. That stretch below the tracks is probably only 20 yards wide down to the beach. But honestly, this is probably only 40 yards wide behind me on the roadside. But there's two trails coming around this wooded flat. It's thick. That's jungle thick. I'd say they're just kind of paralleling these tracks, but they're going around that where that old building is, kind of making almost like a man-made pinch. That's what we're going to do. We're going to set that camera right here. This is, by the way the crow flies, we're 100 yards to where the second sighting was to this deer, and we're probably 200 yards that way where the first sighting of the deer was. So now that we got permission to be in here, I mean, there's only so many places this deer can be. He wasn't above Route 2 on that little 1 acre piece up there that I had permission on. I mean, from Route 2 to the river, it's 80 yards here, tops. And if he's running this strip, he's got to be in here. There's just no other way to it. I mean, there's several houses. It's almost like urban hunting, really, to a point. Huh. All right. Let's get the camera up, get the groceries on the ground. All right, we got the one camera out. The more I look at this is a really cool setup. I mean, this is really cool. Look behind me here. Look here. Look at this old shed. Look at that. And if you see, look at that slot. just wide enough for a bow shot. If you look behind me, just, let me see, right there at the end of that grassy spot. You see the tracks in the background. This is where we got the groceries. It's tight, it's only like 15 yards, but it would be cool to kill this deer right out of that old shed. That would be bad. That would be really cool. You see back here in the jungle is the old house. You got another little outbuilding here, and you got this. I mean, what a cool looking little environment. Look at that. I don't know. If he's here, if we can find him, and if he's what people say he is, this could be a pretty neat little story. All right, fresh out of bed. Holy shit, you ain't gonna believe this. Let me get this camera sit down here. You know, like what everybody else does. First thing in the morning, check that trail camera. Set up. Get this down here. Look at this. Look at this. Unbelievable. Hold on, right here, right here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that freak. Look at that. Unbelievable. He's got going everywhere. Look at some sort of crazy third main beam or something going on there. Just crazy looking. He found that set up first night. I bet the thing wasn't there 7 hours and he's on it. Unbelievable, unbelievable deer. Looks like a mainframe 6x5, which is exactly what my buddy Kevin said he would be. He says he knows this deer. We talked a lot about it. I gotta call him. I gotta call him. We gotta get started here for the day. Lots to do now. All right, we're at the phase of the story now where I got to bring my buddy Kevin in, and you've seen up to this point, you know, I kind of consulted Kevin early on. I have this circle of friends, and nobody that I had in my circle I felt had any experience with what I was about to look at here. Maybe even kind of like an urban type setup. So I called Kevin, and we put this plan together to kill this deer before we'd even laid eyes on him. You know, at this point he was still just kind of a mystery deer, and I called Kevin, and if you remember right, when I first called you, you were in your office and we sit down. I really didn't get a chance to tell my story, the whole point. So the whole point, and you said, you kind of interrupted me, you said, oh my God, I know this deer.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, tell them a little bit like what you're talking about here, because you knew this deer before you even...
Yeah, it was the location, Ross. If you'll remember, we were talking about it, and the year before, I do a lot of shed hunting. I'm like you, it's a 365 day event. You know, I'm doing something in the Whitetail woods, and I've got a good friend of mine I shed hunt with, and he was telling me on the Ohio side of the bridge about a big 6x5 that a friend of his, it's like planes, trains, and automobiles, but yeah. it was his cousin's best friend that hunts with him, found a big 6x5 set of sheds over there that was right at 160 that year. And so just when you were telling me that, and with the solar farms going in on that side of the river, immediately I was like, I know him. It has to be that buck, because around here, how many 160-inch frame bucks are running around?
And that's kind of the key here, is that solar field.
Yeah, you know, absolutely.
This big farm where the solar farm, the solar field was going in, it's just acres and acres and acres of agriculture. But that year, that summer, it was being transformed into the solar farm.
Yeah, it was a full operation there. You had UTVs, tractors, anyone and everyone. So the deer had two options. He was going to have to transplant probably miles, I guess, away, or simply cross the river and get away from all that traffic on that side of the river.
And lo and behold, the morning I found him, I pinned it from there to where he found those sheds was like 360 yards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which in the whitetail realm isn't that far. It just happened to be there was a river between the two.
No, and that's what most people don't realize. Where we're located and we do a lot of hunting, it might be something for us, but those deer, especially the time of year he relocated to you during probably that spring into the summer, it's nothing for him to swim across that river.
Well, and it was actually later confirmed through imagery, through a video where a fisherman actually saw him swim the river.
Yeah.
And actually has a video of him getting out less than 100 yards from where we picked him up. So it's funny how this story actually unfolded, but it was confirmed that this deer legitimately swam the river for refuge.
Yeah.
Because of the solar farm. So, you know, we pick him up and I call you, and just immediately, I mean, we're just like amazed, like, holy cow, this story's actually gonna pan out. You know, if we can get on this deer. And, you know, you and I went back and forth all summer, swapping strategies and different pin locations, and then come September, you know, that proverbial shift.
Right.
And, you know, we had to move a camera location about 300 yards south of that one there. But, you know, that night when I killed this deer, when the story come to a close, there was nobody else out there that I wanted to call. I got to call Kevin, because taking it back to his office, you know, when we set this plan up, this plan was all actually devised without us even knowing what this deer looked like.
Yeah, we
suspected.
That's the crazy part. But when you got those first pictures, and we confirmed, he'd put on some junk, but he was a basic 6x5 frame typical with a lot of extras.
Yep.
It just worked out. And honestly, don't short yourself on how much work you did tweaking your setup and location to kill this deer. If people would see that, you just can't believe like how methodical you were of where you got set up. Once he came in, there was no way he was going to pick you off.
No, he wasn't. But you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You know, but limited amounts of real estate, but it definitely worked out there.
All right, folks, it is Wednesday, the 16th of October. We're 3 days post cold front, and we had a 15 to 18 degree temperature drop there on Monday, and now it is Wednesday. But the problem with Monday, and then actually the problem with Tuesday, is we had some pretty serious wind, at least by our standards, you know, 15, 16, 17 miles an hour sustained winds with 25 and 30 mile an hour gusts. And with this drop in the temperatures have sustained at that 51, 52, 53 degree temperature, which is good for right now. And it's actually getting cold at night too, 31, 32 degree type stuff, which is good for mid-October. But what we got tonight is we have a northwest wind, and it has died down considerably. And this is the day I've been eyeballing
for about a week now. It got warm again on us there after the last cold front. And this particular deer, this river buck that I've been chasing all summer, pinned me in the blind 2 consecutive nights. The last cold front we had, and then it got warm again. He came in right at dark, and I set on him 2 consecutive nights. And again, it was like a 15, 16, 17 degree temperature drop those 2 days. And he approached in from the river side of the setup, and it was just too dark. I mean, I drew on him. I could see my pin. I just couldn't see him, and clearly it just wasn't meant to be. So it got warm again. Here we are. Like I said, another 15 degree temperature drop, but now the winds are died down. It's straight up 4 o'clock. I left work just a smidge early, and you know, the ingress egress of this particular setup is just gravy. I'm pretty much just walking across this fella's lawn and setting up over this rock cliff, looking down on the railroad tracks. So this buck has actually been MIA for about 3 days now, which isn't completely uncommon for him. When he takes a stretch, he's gonna move out, stretch his legs a little bit. He'll be gone for a couple days, but he always comes back. And when he does, he stays pretty tight. But I got to think that the last 2 or 3 days, the buck has not eaten a whole lot. He's kind of laid down, as is the majority of the deer I had on camera. And that could explain why he's not been making his appearance. But low winds tonight, cold, at least by this early standard. I got to think they're going to be on their feet. Camera activity's already been good this afternoon, and we'll see if we can make it happen. But I got a feeling if we don't connect tonight or within the next 3 to 5 days, this old boy's going to start stretching his legs a little more, and he's going to start looking for ladies. So we're going to have to make it happen. The DNA in this deer is just primed for him to take off, swim the river back to where he's from, back to the homeland, or just completely shift altogether in time for the rut. We're in. We had to wait just a couple minutes before we slipped down here. I checked the camera, and there was a couple does in here when I pulled in, so I had to wait just a few minutes. It's intermittent cloud cover. Get just a little bit here, a little bit there, but for the most part the sun's out. It's looking good. And I noticed the leaves have really changed a lot of color here in the last, well, since the last set. It's about like what we talked about, 51, 52 degrees, but that wind is rocking. And so anyways, we're going to set up and see. But the way this blind is set up, I'm right on the edge of this cliff looking down, and it's such a steep angle. Truthfully, I wish my setup was a little farther out, but it's not. But it's such a steep angle. I had to do a lot of trimming just to make sure I clear the lip of this little rise when I go to shoot down through there. We're looking 18, 19 yards, something like that. You can hear the traffic behind me. There's a barge going by when we pulled in. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. It is kind of cool to watch the tracks. You hear a lot of trains going by constantly. I think this is the 5th sit I've had on this deer, and there's trains in here every night. But it's kind of loud. But I will say this, it kind of saved me on a couple different occasions, because there was a train coming through and there was deer down below me. Otherwise I'd have to wait an hour before I get out of here, but I just unzipped the blind and slipped out the back while the train was coming through. It creates a lot of noise cover where I could slip in and out and not bump anything. But I got a feeling we're going to make this happen within the next few days. If not, he's going to start to roaming. It's right at the middle of October, and he's been around a little bit. He's an old deer. He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. And he knows there's going to be a doe group going to pop here real soon. That's it. It's over. Let me get some light in here. It's over. It's over. He just slipped in and looked up and there he was. Oh my God, I'm shaking so bad. I gotta make some phone calls here. I have to get outside the blind so I can make some calls. We're gonna call Kevin. He's been with me on this journey the whole summer, and we put this plan together.
Hello.
Game over, bud.
Yeah, buddy.
Ate him up.
Awesome.
Ate him up.
Call. You knew it.
We looked at this forecast. We looked at the forecast there. We said Wednesday night.
Oh man, congratulations. That's awesome.
I'm shaking so damn bad I can't hardly stand myself.
Well, if it doesn't make you feel that way, you need to find a new hobby.
Listen, I'm gonna send you some footage. My Luminoc did not go off, so I'm gonna send you some footage. I'm gonna send it on your. You don't have Facebook, right?
No, I don't.
Is Shelly close to you?
Yeah, she's in the living room.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to her Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Let's pull this thing up and see what we got going on here. And I can't do anything. I'm shaking so cotton picking bad right now. I can't stand it.
I love it.
I'm serious. I'm just ate up with it right now. But let's take a look at this here. I'll send it to her messenger. And Kevin, I can't stop shaking.
That's awesome, dude. It's been a while since I've been like that.
Anyways, get on her messenger and tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Hello.
How far off did you hear him run?
I couldn't tell, Brian. I'm trying to. I just sent it to the editor and slowed it down. Now I can't find where I saved the damn thing to. But keep in mind what you're seeing. That video I sent you. I'm significantly to the right of that camera. He's almost broadside.
Okay.
Can you play it back in the editors in slow-mo without exporting it? No.
So he's almost broadside to you. That helps significantly. Yeah. I mean, really significantly.
Let me. I can't find where I just saved this to. I got to redo it and send it back out, Brian.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and send that back out. I'm sorry. I saw the beat video. I didn't know if that was it or not.
No, give me a minute. I've done it once. Now I can't find it. Let me do it again here. I'll send it right back to you.
Okay, buddy.
All right.
All right, we made a decision. We are going to wait till morning. It's just not worth the risk. Looked at the footage over and over, and we know what we're dealing with. But time's on our side. We're playing with house money here. There's just no sense in pushing him. So we're getting the team together tonight, and we'll meet back up in the morning. All right, boys and girls, it's 4:30 the next morning. Virtually zero sleep. We're gonna come in here and get the coffee on, and as most everyone does on nights like this, we're probably going to review the footage again. And we got everybody on standby. We're going to meet at 7 a.m. It's getting daylight now, about 7:20 or so, 7:30. But we get in there, we'll be right at 12 hours post-shot. And I have to be at another location. I already have plans. I've been committed to an event at 10:30 this morning. So we're going to try to get in and get the blood identified and see what we're dealing with. Maybe even get our hands on him early this morning. We never pushed him at all. I went down and picked up my arrow 15 minutes after the shot. I'd never even looked for blood. And we have scrutinized the footage over and over and over. Sent it to numerous of my guys within my circle, and we all agree 1,000% dead deer. We're looking probably one lung, certainly liver. There's some food matter on the arrow, so it probably exited the paunch. Ideally, I mean, it's not a bad shot. I mean, it's absolutely 1,000% a lethal shot. Ideally, I'd like to see it about 4 inches, maybe 3 inches more forward than what he was, but that's life. I think that the fact that we didn't push him, we just left him alone. The buck really has no idea. He has no idea what happened. He just knew he got stung, he got bit, and he has no sense of danger whatsoever because we didn't push him. Zero, not even a single step. So I'm gonna sit down here with the coffee, get myself awake, get dressed, and we'll meet everybody here shortly. Here's the arrow. So I mean, to me that looks, I mean, a little bit of everything. I mean, you got a lot going on there.
He's dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Here you go.
Yeah.
He's straight line. He's not even hit the front.
Death run type deal.
Yep.
He may have turned and went over back there.
Yeah.
Blood? Huh?
I don't think he stopped.
That's a bad thing about tracking in grass.
Yeah. If we get out of this grass, we'll take that stuff. Okay, so we're back in the truck here. As I explained earlier this morning, I have an obligation at 10:30. It is exactly 9 o'clock now, so I'm really cutting it close. I got to hurry and change clothes and get out, get this thing done. We've all agreed to meet back up about 1 o'clock. We got a set of dogs coming in, and we'll go from there. We put him at 250 yards from where the point of impact was, and we come into a grassy area. And if anybody's ever tried to track a wounded deer across grass, it's next to impossible. So that's why we back down. You know, I don't know. It's just he's making us work for it. No doubt the deer's dead. No doubt the deer's dead. And I don't know. Just just a bad feeling. So anyways, we're gonna get to the house, get showered up, get taken care of our stuff. We'll get back after here about 1:30. Well, would you looky here?
They're like, what the heck's he doing in the passenger seat? I can see the look.
Is this the 18? 18.
I don't know why I didn't know why you didn't call me last night.
Honestly, I think it's better just leave him where it's at. Yeah, we didn't.
Well, I mean to go this morning.
Well, truthfully, I didn't think we need you.
Yeah.
All jokes aside.
Yeah.
And we were doing fine until we get to this grass. So we're 250 in, and I mean, had we not come to that grass, I think we'd be fine. And the grass is only probably 3/4 of an acre. Once we get through that grass,
If you can figure out which way you went.
exactly.
How far is the grass from a road?
We're coming right up on where we had lost that blood, and basically where it was in this little grassy spot. And anybody that's ever tracked deer through grass knows what kind of a challenge it is. But be real anxious to see what these dogs do once we get to that. But we're coming up on here right this second.
He's right, he did circle back.
Oh my. Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Y'all sure make old dad
What?
proud.
Holy hell, man. Look at that.
You want to snap back up on?
Yeah. Right to him.
Man. What do you think of that, guys? What do you think of that? Jack and Lacey. That's some good stuff there, Ron. Look at that. What a cool deer. I mean, I never killed anything that gnarly.
No?
I never killed anything like that gnarly.
My knees.
And
Play out on me.
how he's not broke any of this stuff off. I thought for sure that'd be the first thing to go.
I got one over on Liverpool because I broke half his rack out.
Yeah, I got a couple of some busted G2s and 3s.
That took all of what, 20 minutes? Was that, did it take that long? Did
10 minutes after we lost blood.
Yeah, it didn't take that long.
Huh. We sit in his office, we put together a plan to kill this deer before we'd ever seen it. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, people have been telling us about this giant freak deer that they've seen. And before we even had a place to hunt or even saw the deer, knew what it was, we're putting together a plan to kill it. Yeah, I mean, we could be chasing a ghost for all that matter. You know, honey. You know, honey. All right, the story of the river buck comes to an end. Got a lot of good friends here with me. And Kevin, if you remember, we first talked about this deer, we hadn't even seen the thing yet. We've had a lot of big plans for this thing all along. As you can hear the vehicles in the background, that's kind of the signature part of the story of where this deer lived. Right along the highway, right along the railroad tracks. Lots of trains, lots of barges on the river, lots of vehicles. The old story goes, the big bucks are where you find them. And this certainly is, I don't know, I don't think I call it big buck country. But at the same time, I guess it is big buck country. And right from the minute we got onto this deer, we knew it would be a really, really cool story. Now I can't think of a better way to end it up. Can't think of a better way to finish up. The story of the river buck comes to a close.